All right. It looks like we are live. Hi, friends. If you're in with me right now, if you'll do me a favor and just type in the chat, let me know that you can hear me, that you can see me. We want to make sure that all our tech is working well. There's a little bit of a delay in when you send something in the chat and when I get it. So just give it a second for it to come through. But I'll wait for just a few seconds, let people come in and let me know that you can hear and see me. Let me know where you're watching from. Right now, I'm in Nashville, Tennessee, where my family lives. Oh, good. We have people piping in right now that they can see me, they can hear me. Awesome. Hi, everybody. Let's see. We have Abigail from New York. And let's see, where else is everybody from? Everybody can hear me, everybody can see me. Yay. Let me know where y'all are from. Any Tennessee people in the crowd? I love seeing Tennessee people or Texas people. I'm a Texas girl. Karen's from Central Pennsylvania. Maddie's from Cleveland. Yay. Hi, you guys. Anna's from Wisconsin. Shanice is from Alabama. We've got, Fort Worth, Texas. Brittany, that's like my side of town. Well, close enough. When we were living in Texas, we've got people from Utah and Georgia and Illinois. Awesome, you guys. Well, I'm so glad that you are here and just taking a moment to hang out with me today. This is awesome. And I truly love coming in live and I love the energy of everybody in the chat and everything like that. So I'm really excited just for this time that we have today. A couple housekeeping things before we like totally dive in. I want to make sure that we've got a few things that let you know about. So first is at the very end of this, we're having a live Q&A. So if you at any point have any questions, do me a favor and pop those into the chat and we will get to them at the end. Because as we're going, I can't see the chat actively unless I like click into the chat. So we're gonna mark those for the end and just drop your questions in as you go and then we will get to them. I wanted you to know that my sweet assistant Amanda is in with us today. Amanda's going to say hey, and so she's going to be the one marking your questions for me so that we have them at the very end all together and I'll be able to hit them like that. So she's in here and you can say hello to Amanda. She's amazing. And a couple other things is, I don't know about you, but I love Starbucks. Okay. I am not a coffee drinker, funny enough. I love the Zebra hot chocolate at Starbucks. So if you've never tried the Zebra hot chocolate, it is perfection. I think their regular hot chocolate is like bitter. And so the Zebra hot chocolate is the perfect mix of all the things. And that's my go-to drink. But if you like Starbucks too, whether you're a coffee drinker or hot chocolate like me, maybe you drink tea or refreshers, whatever, we have a couple of opportunities for you to get some free Starbucks on me today. So the first way that you can get free Starbucks is just by engaging in the chat. I love a really active chat and seeing that you guys are with me and that we're tracking together when I ask questions that you answer. And so as we go, I'm going to randomly select people to get some free Starbucks on me. And so the more that you comment and interact, the higher the probability that you'll be picked. So that's one way. The second way that you can get entered to win some free Starbucks is just snap a picture of you watching this. If you're watching on your phone, take a screenshot. If you're taking notes or whatever, take a picture of yourself taking notes, post it to your Instagram stories and tag me at Rebecca Rice Photography. And that gives you a chance to win some free Starbucks as well. So super fun. We're going to be full of giveaways and freebies today because that's what I just love. So it's going to be a good time. And then I also do have one more special bonus freebie and I'll tell you about it as we go. But if you stay with us to the very end through the Q&A, you get that special bonus freebie as well. So I know that this is going to be awesome and super packed with lots of information. So I'm super excited to get going today. So with that, Maddie says I'm all for free Starbucks. Yes, me too. So for that, I will go ahead and start our presentation here. You can still see me in the corner, so that's nice for those of you that like a more like one-on-one kind of environment. So you can still see me. But we're talking about mini sessions today. So if mini sessions are your thing, or you want them to be your thing, you want to learn more about minis and really up your game, you're in the right place. This is going to be so awesome. And I'm really excited to talk about all things mini sessions. So before we get too far into this, I do want to introduce myself in case you don't know me. So I'm Rebecca. This is my sweet little family here on the left. I'm a mom and a wife in Nashville, Tennessee. My husband is Daniel, and then our two kids, we have Maddie, who's 3 years old, and Carson's almost 2. So it's an adventure in our house. Our kids are 20 months apart, and we have a blast with them. They're so fun. But on the left, you can see is our like pretty family picture, and what you don't see is like typical family or photographer syndrome kids. Like they were crying the whole time. It was super stressful, and we were lucky to get a shot. So there you have it. And then on the right is more of like our normal situation, like the kids wrestling daddy on the couch. Like this is our normal life. It's fun and it's wild and busy and all the things. So just a little bit intro to us. I am a family photographer. We just moved from Texas to Tennessee, so that's why I said like Texas is my place. Born and raised Texan, but we're brand new here in Nashville and loving every second of it. So you may say like, why should I listen to you, Rebecca? And that's a fair question that you should be asking. And so I do want to give you just a few things about me that helps sort of give me some credibility here, so you have something to build upon when it comes to marketing your mini sessions. Number one is that minis are my bread and butter, okay? Mini sessions are literally the foundation of my business. And I built this successful photography business with mini sessions in mind, because I was a busy mom and needed something that gave me the biggest bang for my buck when it came to my time. And so I have proven strategies and systems that work, and not just in my business, but in the businesses of photographers that I coach and I mentor and I teach. And so that's what I'll be teaching you today. And honestly, through trial and error, I have figured out some key things that work and some things that don't work. And I want to share that with you. The second reason that you should listen to me is that I've made over $10,000 from a single month of minis, and not just like one time, but this happens time and time again. Every season I see these kind of numbers with my mini sessions, and this is like normal around here, and not just for me, but for some of my students too, which is amazing. Now you may say like, cool, Rebecca, you probably have like all the time in the world and do this thing full time and whatnot. Like that's not me. Well, I will tell you that like I mentioned, I'm a wife and a mom of 2 kids, and I actually had a full-time job outside of photography up until this past July. So the numbers that I'm talking about today, I was doing with a full-time job outside of my photography. Photography is my side gig. So it just goes to show like how much you can truly accomplish with mini sessions in such a short amount of time. So whether photography is your side gig or your full-time job, like we can make this thing work for you. And I'm so, so excited to tell you about it. The last thing that I want to mention for why you should listen to me is that I have failed enough to know what works and what doesn't, right? And I think that you should never listen to somebody that only talks about their successes. Like if they only talk about their wins and never about their failures, that should be a red flag to you, because I think that there's so much valuable learning, time that happens in our failures. And so my goal is that when I share failures with you, that you're able to learn from them and be able to not have to walk through those same heartaches and failures that I did, that you can learn from my mistakes and the things that didn't work out for me, and hopefully propel you into your business to go even farther, even faster. So that's what I have. That's why you should listen to me. Hopefully that gets you a little excited and builds a little anticipation for what's going to come, because we have a lot of awesome stuff here. Here's a warning. This is a no fluff zone, okay? No fluff zone. I am really known for my very practical teaching. I'm not one to like give you all the fluffy things and you don't really learn anything. My goal is to give you actionable steps that you can take today and apply to your business today. I want to respect your time, and I feel so honored that you would give up some of your busy evening or whatever time it is where you're at, that you would give some of that time up to come and to tune in. And so to be respectful of that, I want you to leave feeling valued and feeling poured into and feeling like you actually learned something. Like there's nothing worse than attending a class like this, learning nothing, and feeling like you had your time wasted. And so I don't want that. teach with a no fluff strategy, and I hope that you get something from that. I also don't want to be like deceptive or try to hide anything. Some people like carry you on for an hour and then all they do is want to sell you something. Like, that's not my style. I want you to learn and to grow and to leave with pages and pages of notes. Now, I do want to tell you up front that I have a special offer for you at the very end for those who may be interested in diving even deeper. But even if that's not you, even if you, you don't choose to pursue that offer, I want you to leave feeling valued and poured into, right? I want you to leave feeling like you didn't waste an hour of your time. Okay. So just know that you're going to get some real tangible steps. So grab your notebook, grab your pen, be taking notes, because I'm telling you, we're going to dive into some stuff. And then don't forget, we do have that live Q&A at the end. So be popping your questions into the chat, and Amanda is going to flag those for me so we can get to that. And then that bonus freebie for anybody that sticks around to the very, very end. So be sure to look for that. So here's your first like opportunity to earn some Starbucks. All right. So get ready to start typing in the chat. Here's a question for you. What is one thing that you wish you knew about running profitable mini sessions? All right. What is one thing that if you say, if I can learn this one thing, I feel like I would be good. And maybe that's pricing for you. Maybe it's marketing. Maybe it's, how to structure your minis. I don't know. What could that be for you? Debbie's saying that I'm frozen. Am I frozen for anybody else? Just want to make sure that we're still good here. Okay. Good. It looks like we're fine. So Allison says how to price them properly. Katrina says how to compete in a saturated market. Lots of pricing. So Allison, since you were the first one to answer, you get some Starbucks on me. So right after this is over, DM me on Instagram at Rebecca Rice Photography, and I will get that Starbucks over to you. That's gonna be awesome. But reading through here, how to advertise your minis, how to book more, lots of pricing, how to market them, structure, what to do with my packages, marketing. Okay, so many things that you guys are wondering, and that those are great like questions and things that we want to hit. So we're going to dive into some of that today. I'm really excited. So are you guys ready? Like, we're going to jump into this thing head first and really get going here. So before we go too far, I do want to define a mini session, because I feel like mini session is one of those like terms that gets thrown around in our industry, and everybody has such different definitions of what a mini session is. So I want us to really define it, at least what I call a mini session. That way we're all on the same page and understand like what we're talking about here. So for me, a mini session is a 10 to 20 minute session that is stacked in time blocks. So you do these sessions back to back or with a small buffer of time in between on a date that you choose at a location that you, the photographer, chooses, with 3 to 5 images included. So that is a mini session, okay? A mini session is not just a short full session. Like if you're doing 30-minute mini sessions, hate to break it to you, that's not a mini session, okay? So in our terms, minis are 10 to 20 minutes tops. Like you don't wanna go more than 20 minutes for a mini. And mini sessions are never to be like standalone sessions. They're not supposed to be something that you can, like a client can just come and book a mini on whatever date they want. Like if you don't have a date of minis, then minis shouldn't be available. That's how it goes. And minis don't include a ton of images. So if you're including 10, 20, a full gallery of images with their session fee, like that's not a mini session, because a mini is supposed to be a bite of the cake, right? Just a bite. They're not supposed to get the whole cake when they book a mini. And so you want to keep that in mind when structuring your minis. Next thing, I do want to tell you that I get this question all the time. So here's my sweet spot for how I structure my minis. I've tested a lot of different like variations and all the things, and this is the best when it comes to booking and client satisfaction and all the things, profitability. I do 15-minute time slots in 2 to 3 hour time blocks back to back. So I'm doing like 8 to 12 minis at a time with 5 images included. And I do deliver a gallery of about 20 photos, and my clients get to choose their 5 images that they want that are included in their session, or at that time they can purchase more. So I do upsell that gallery, and it's not in-person sales. I don't have time for in-person sales, especially not shooting volume mini sessions. But it's all done automatically through your gallery. So I don't have to worry about any of that. It just happens. The upselling is amazing and it's all done automatically. So super nice. Now, I know a lot of you said that pricing was something that you like really struggle with. So I do want to touch on it just a little bit. We can't spend too much time talking about pricing because we have other things that we're going to hit. But it's really important to understand that if you want to be profitable with your mini sessions, you can't be charging $50 for your minis. Okay. And like I said, this whole thing about pricing can be a whole class on its own, but we just don't have time. So I do want to get you started in the right direction with some like do's and don'ts of pricing. Okay, so here's some don'ts. First off, don't just pick a number out of thin air to be your price. And I am so guilty of this. I did this when I first started. I literally was like, oh, this looks good, and just picked a number, and that was what I charged. Don't suggest doing that. Also, don't price based off of what somebody else is doing. All right. It's important that you run the numbers for yourself, for your specific business and situation, to know what you need to be pricing. So don't try to just see, oh, well, so-and-so prices this, so I'll price whatever. It's really important to run the numbers. And then don't charge cheaper just because you're new. Okay, if you're a new photographer and you feel like you need to practice for free. But it's so much easier to start pricing profitably than to be doing $50 mini sessions and then raise them to be profitable later. Okay. If we're going to take this thing seriously and we're going to do a business, like actually run a profitable business, it's important that you price yourself correctly. So here's the do's of pricing. Number one, run your cost of doing business. That's your CODB. If you've never run your cost of doing business and you don't know what it costs to, actually do your minis and what you're paying yourself, then you're going to have some problems, because the other part is to pay yourself appropriately for your time. So if you don't know how much you're actually making hourly, then how are you supposed to pay yourself appropriately for your time? So it's really important to find out what you're making hourly. If you've never done the math, take your income, whatever you're expecting to make from your set of minis, subtract your expenses, which is all of your software, your gear, props, anything that it takes to run mini sessions or to run your business, keep your doors open. And don't forget taxes as an expense, because if you're taking money from people, you need to be paying taxes. So take all of that into consideration and then divide by the total number of hours that you're actually working on these minis. So not just the time that you're shooting, but the time that you're driving, the time that you're communicating with your clients and marketing and delivering galleries, editing, all the things. You spend so much more time probably than you realize on minis. So you want to make sure that you're paying yourself accordingly, because the worst thing is to come and find out that you're making $12 an hour and a teenager over at Costco is making more than that. Guys, if you get nothing from this, I want you to hear me, that you are worth it, okay? You are worth paying yourself an appropriate wage, and your time is worth it, because the time that you're spending on mini sessions is time that you are not going to be able to spend with your family. Like, that's time that you're spending away from people that you care about. So make sure that you price yourself accordingly. People always ask, I'll let you know my pricing. I price my minis at $285 for 15-minute sessions and 5 images included. Now, that is more towards the higher end of pricing for minis, but I have tons of students that are about in the $150 range. So don't feel like you have to be, charging $300 or whatever to make this thing work. It's not true. But make sure that you do the numbers, because that's really important. Okay, here we go. Are you guys ready? I'm so excited. Here's like the meat of it, okay? We are talking about 3 marketing secrets for fully booked mini sessions. I know that the word marketing can be like a scary word, especially if you don't have like a degree in marketing. I know that I do not have a marketing degree. So marketing can be scary, but it doesn't have to be, because you know what the best part is? We can look at other like major corporations and see what they're doing, right? And so if I were to narrow down to my 3 biggest and most important marketing strategies, these are the ones that I want to hit. So here's your next chance for some free Starbucks, guys. What is your biggest hang up when it comes to marketing? What is the biggest thing that gets in your way, or that limits you or hinders you for being able to market yourself, your photography, your mini sessions. Let me know in the chat what gets in the way, what is frustrating. Katrina says, Katrina, she says competing with cheap photographers in my area. Absolutely. Like that's a huge hang up and that can be frustrating. Katrina, since you're the first one to answer, you get some free Starbucks. So awesome. Let's see. People say, I don't know where to start. Standing out from the market, scheduling posts. I don't know what to say. Lack of, I feel that, Christina, lack of marketing. I just don't have any. How to reach people. Okay, so tons of amazing answers. So today we're going to dive into my 3 favorite marketing tactics to hopefully help with some of these pain points that if you don't know where to start, this is where to start. So take notes, write stuff down because you can apply this stuff today. Really important to get going here. So without further ado, 3 marketing secrets. Here's my first one. Email list is king. You guys, your email is so important. And if you don't have an email list, it's time to start one, right? And I'll show you, I'll kind of give you some ideas of where to start. If you do have an email list, it's time to grow it. There's a lot of ways to start your email list. And I'll talk about how in a second. But first, I really want to talk about why email lists are so important, especially in today. I think it's one of those things that a lot of photographers forget about is that email marketing, because there's this huge push for social media, which social media is great, but email is really where it's at. So speaking of social media, here we know these icons, right? Everybody knows it, Facebook and Instagram. We love them, we hate them, all at the same time, right? So social media, you may love social media, you may totally hate social media. Either way, they exist and they play a major role in our society and our business. And most photographers, I would say, do the majority of their marketing on these platforms, which isn't terrible. I'm not saying these platforms are bad. They really are great. But something that's really important to understand about social media and Facebook and Instagram is that we, as the photographers, do not own them. Right? We don't own these spaces. We don't own our followers. What would happen if Facebook and Instagram disappeared tomorrow? Like, what would you do in your business if that happened? Like, would you be at a total loss because you put all your eggs in one basket? We want to make sure that we diversify our marketing strategy, and that's why email lists are so important. See, Facebook and Instagram change constantly because of something pesky called algorithms, okay? Hate algorithms. Let me know in the comments if you agree, because I think algorithms are the absolute worst. Algorithms, if you don't know, basically it's Facebook and Instagram deciding who sees your content, okay? And it seems to be at total random and changes by the daily. So right when you think you have it figured out of like, oh yeah, if I just do this, then all of a sudden all my people see my stuff, and then the next day it changes. So we really do hate algorithms. So it's really important to not solely depend on an ever-changing platform because that's going to make you really frustrated really fast. So your email list, that's where your email list comes into play, because your email list guarantees that you will drop into your subscribers' inbox every time you send an email. Oh no, I think my camera cut out for us. So every time we send an email, I'm still here, don't worry about it. As long as you guys can still hear me, right? Yeah, we're good. So every time we send an email, we drop into our subscribers' inbox, which is amazing. It guarantees whatever you want to send, whether that's encouragement or information about booking or whatever, you're going to drop into their inbox. So email isn't going anywhere, which is amazing. Facebook and Instagram could literally disappear tomorrow, which we already talked about, but email isn't going anywhere. It's not disappearing. And thankfully, we can really rely on email. So you may say, well, that's great, Rebecca, but where do I start? Okay, so if you're wondering where to start, here are some really great places just in case. Oh, good, my video's back. Okay, some great places to start. Number one is with your past clients. So if you, first of all, don't just add people to your email list. Like, they have to opt in. Okay, if they don't opt in, then you can't just add them. But you can contact past clients and have them, you can ask them, basically say, hey, I have this brand new VIP email list. who wants in, right? And you can tell them that, first of all, by calling it a VIP email list, everybody wants to be exclusive. So that's amazing. But you can let them know that they get priority booking and exclusive access and all of these perks for being on your email list. So then they're like, oh yeah, I want to do that, because who doesn't love priority booking and I just forgot the word, exclusive access. Like, everybody wants that. So your past clients is a really great place to start. The next place is to share with your followers. Okay. So yes, like I just said, like, don't put all your eggs in the social media basket, but if you have social media, which you probably do, you can share with your followers and get them to enroll on your email list and hopefully, help that to grow. Now, the third way is my absolute favorite when it comes to growing your email list, and I'll tell you why. You can run a giveaway. Now, giveaway strategy is like a whole nother lesson. So I'll just tell you a little bit about it. If you do it right, it's a really great way to get a ton of local people on your email list very quickly. So I last year had a couple of mini session spots that I just couldn't fill, and a couple of people canceled, and I just had these spots available. So I posted in a local Facebook group and said, hey, I'm doing a 24-hour giveaway. Who wants in, right? And I collected emails, and in 24 hours, I gained over 400 emails of local moms added to my email list. Like, what? That's crazy. So I'm a huge proponent for giveaways if they're done right, okay? Because they can be really, really good for growing your email list. Now, that's email secret number one, marketing secret number one. Here's marketing secret number two. Create scarcity and demand. Okay, create scarcity and demand. Now, there's something we're going to get into a little bit of buyer's psychology. All right. And this is something that happens whether you realize it or not, that anytime you go to buy something, there are some things that trigger in your head. And I love studying psychology. I'm just fascinated with how people think and like their motives behind making certain decisions. And so we're going to walk through a little bit of that when it comes to buyer psychology and how we can use that to our advantage in marketing, right? So the first thing is that people buy what other people are buying. Simple, easy, right? So the best example I can think of is if you've ever heard of the Nugget Comfort. If you don't have kids, you probably don't know what that is, but I have young kids, so this is all the rage right now. Basically, a Nugget Comfort is a like kids couch that is overpriced and disassembles and can be made into like forts and stuff. Like, cool, okay, who needs that? We do. You know why? Because everybody's buying one. I don't know why. There's like an 8-month back order. It's ridiculously hard to find one. Everybody's selling them on Facebook Marketplace for double the price because they're in such high demand. So people buy what other people are buying. I had no idea what a Nugget Comfort was until a few weeks ago. And when I found out what a Nugget was, I had to have one just because everybody has one, and honestly, they're amazing. If you don't have one, go look it up, because my kids will spend hours playing on this thing. But people buy what other people are buying. Simple. The next piece of buyer psychology is that people buy, or if there's a deadline. Okay, so if there's a deadline in place, people are more likely to buy. So when it comes to your mini sessions, by creating a deadline and saying, okay, I'm opening spots for 2 weeks, and after that, no more booking, right? It triggers something in their head to say, oh my gosh, I have to book now, because if I don't book now, I'm not going to get the chance. Like, this is not okay. And so that helps you create that demand and that scarcity mindset in them to say that they have to buy now, or else they're not going to get a spot, right? And then the third thing is that people buy if they're scared that it's going to sell out. So that's where that scarcity comes in, where you can say, I only have a few spots left, right? By letting them know that there's not just a plethora of spots for them to book, then they're more likely to book with you just because spots are running out. All right. So this doesn't have to be complicated. It's all in how you phrase it, right? And so if there's not real scarcity or demand, create it. Okay. You don't have to automatically be fully booked and in super high demand. If you're newer to this, that's okay, because where there's no scarcity and demand, you can create it. And it's really simple. It's all in your words, guys. So the way that you phrase things, like when you set a deadline, when you make posts or share or things like that, always set a deadline to automatically create demand, right? Open up just a few spots at a time. And this can be a little confusing because some people will open up 2 dates of minis, right? And they want to give people all the choices and this and that. Like, that's great, but there's no scarcity because all of a sudden people have 16 spots to choose from. Whereas you open up 1 date with only 4 spots available, just like that, there's a lot more scarcity and that demand goes up because the supply is lower. Remember, like the idea of supply and demand that we learned in like middle school? Same concept. And so as the supply goes down, the demand goes up. And so you can open up a few spots at a time. And then once they book, say, oh my gosh, I am just blown away that all my spots booked. I just had to open up more spots. It's that demand that you're creating. And so the third thing is to make yourself look like you're in high demand. All right. So even if you're not in high demand, make it look like you are. This is one of the biggest lessons that I learned from Amy and Jordan Demos. They're incredible photography educators. And the biggest lesson that I took away was how to make myself look busy, right? And so when I was first starting out, let's say you only have 1 photo session in the books, you can stretch that photo session so many ways. You can post about location scouting for that session. You can post about prepping your gear and actually shooting and some behind the scenes and editing the session, delivering the gallery, posting the testimonial that your clients share about their session. So many ways you can stretch 1 session and it makes you look really busy, right? Because people probably aren't connecting the dots that it all has to do with the same session. And so by making yourself look busy, you are creating that demand that people want to book with somebody that's booking. People want to book with somebody that's busy. So make sure to make yourself look busy. Y'all still with me? I know this is a lot. Secret number 3. Expand your audience. This one is my personal favorite out of the 3 secrets, and we'll get into why. But it's really important to understand. Like, think of your favorite companies, right? Target, Crate and Barrel, Home Goods, whatever your favorite companies are. Do you follow them on Instagram? Because I went through my Instagram, like looking at some of my favorites. I follow 0 of them on Instagram. I just don't do that. Like, I don't know, maybe you do, most people don't. And so if Target and Home Goods and whatever just advertised to their social media followers, they would lose a lot of like traction with their clients and their sales and all the things because they're limiting their audience. So it's so important to expand your audience beyond who's just following you, because I can guarantee you and I don't have nearly as many followers as those major companies. So it's even more important that we expand our audience beyond just who's following us. Okay, so some things to consider. First of all is the algorithms. The algorithms are working against us, and they are making it so that the majority of our followers don't actually see what we post, which is so frustrating. And so one of the main things that when photographers are struggling to book, I ask them, well, where are you marketing? They say, well, I post on my Facebook every single day, and I've shared on my Instagram every single day, and I'm just not booking. And I'm like, oh, hello, that's why. And then I share this stat with them. Jasmine Star, who is an Instagram guru, if you've never heard of her, go look her up. She's amazing. She says that only 4% of your followers actually see what you post. 4%. You guys, that's it. That is not enough. Because let's say you have 100 followers. Only 4 people are seeing what you're posting. Like, of course, people are not booking with you because nobody's seeing what you post. Thanks, algorithms. But maybe you have 1,000 followers. That means only 40 people are seeing your stuff, let alone booking, because odds are 100% of your people that see your stuff is not going to book with you. And so that's why it's so important to get in front of that larger audience. So for those of us that are visual learners, I want to paint a little picture for you. First of all, if you want to book more, you have to get in front of more eyeballs, period. If you want to book more, you have to get in front of more people. And so we all have a conversion rate. And this is what I want you to kind of understand, and I'll visually show you here. But we all have this thing called a conversion rate. And basically that is a certain percentage of people that see your mini sessions info are going to book with you. So let's take Emily, for example. She's our pretend photographer here. And we'll say that her conversion rate is 20%. So 20% of people that see her ad will book with her. Now, I will say 20% is high. So like the numbers that you see here, it's probably going to be even lower just for the normal person. But for easy math sake, we're doing 20%. So right here, you can see the 2 pink people. They out of 10 people, only 2 people are going to book with her. So let's use an example here. If Emily wants to book 8 spots, which is a 2-hour time slot, a normal day to minis, then she's going to have to get in front of 20 people, right? No, 40, hello, can't do math. She's gonna have to get in front of 40 people to book 8 spots. And again, that's a high conversion rate. So odds are you're gonna have to get in front of even more people than that to book 8 spots. Let's take it a step further. Let's say that Emily wants to book 20 spots, okay? Now, all of a sudden, she has to get in front of 100 people just to book 20 spots. Now, to give you a little perspective, every fall, I book about 100 minis, sometimes a little bit more. And so can you imagine how many people I had to get in front of to book 100 minis? And just to clarify, these are not all on like 1 mini a day. Hello, these are stacked into time blocks. I think I did shot about 13 dates of minis. But 100 minis, I do not have a 20% conversion rate. Mine's much lower. So I had to literally get in front of thousands of people to get 100 to book. And I hope that doesn't like overwhelm you and freak you out. Like, please don't leave because it's so doable. It's a lot more doable than you probably think. It's all about marketing. And so let's talk about some really practical ways to get in front of more eyeballs here. And it, like I said, it doesn't have to be scary. It's simple, but you just have to know how to do it and what steps to take. So the first thing that you can do is to share in local Facebook groups, okay? This is my personal favorite, and because I think it's the best free advertising that there is, besides obviously your email list. But to get in front of more people that don't follow you, sharing in local Facebook groups. So go into Facebook, type in the search bar your city and whatever, you know, your city moms, or if you're not a mom, garage sale or whatever. Just type in your city and see what pops up. There are so many Facebook groups that are free to join. They have thousands of people in them. I mean, we have some local groups that are upwards of like 12, 15, 20,000 people in there. They're all local to you, which is amazing. And some of those groups do allow advertising. So if they do, you should be posting at least once a week in there when you're trying to book your minis. And if they don't allow advertising, follow the rules, don't be spammy. But when somebody's requesting, you know, they're looking for suggestions for a photographer, throw your name in the hat, because odds are somebody else is going to see that post and they can book with you, even if the original poster doesn't. And so local Facebook groups are a super good way to get in front of thousands of people for free. Okay. The next good way to do to get more eyeballs is to partner with local businesses. So think pediatrician's office, dentist's office, doulas. You can talk to boutiques, hair and makeup artists. Like these are all examples of, you know, local businesses that you can partner with. So the key with partnering with local businesses is to come up with something that is mutually beneficial so that you can then advertise to their audience. Maybe that's sharing or taking free headshots for their company or whatever. You can get creative. Maybe you do free photo sessions for the owner. I don't know, give them a free mini, whatever it takes. But you can figure out and get creative there to be able to partner with them, but that gets you in front of your audience and their audience. So that's a great thing to do. And then the last thing is that you can pay for Facebook ads. I am a huge believer in Facebook ads when they're done right. Now, if you're not familiar with Facebook ads, please don't just hop in and do it. Like, that's not wise. Make sure that you read up, because just jumping into Facebook ads without knowing what you're doing is the quickest way to waste money. Please don't waste your money. And so it's really important to educate yourself on Facebook ad strategy and to really know what you're doing. But they can be great at targeting your ideal client, getting your ad to a specific like city or area. There's a lot of positives that come with Facebook ads when they're done well and when you know what you're doing. So that is a really great avenue to potentially take too. So that's my 3 marketing secrets. Now I do have a bonus section for you here. And don't forget, I am popping over to the chat for a second. Make sure that y'all are asking your questions. And Amanda is tagging those for me because we do have our Q&A. And if you stick through the end of the Q&A, I have an extra bonus freebie, and I'll tell you about that in a second. But as a bonus for right now, I want to quickly walk through my very first set of minis and sort of tell you some lessons that I learned from them, because I think that experience is the greatest teacher. And those of you that are brand new to mini sessions, or maybe you've tried them before and they just didn't work, and you want to kind of come into my mind a little bit, I want to walk through some lessons, some key lessons that I learned in my first set of minis. So to sort of paint a picture for you, in my first set of minis, I had never worked with anybody that wasn't related to me or family friend. So I had 0 clients, like 0. Nobody had ever paid me for photo sessions that I didn't know. Never worked with strangers. With this set of minis, I had priced them at $125 for 15 minutes and 7 images. I pulled that number out of thin air, no rhyme or reason, literally was like, oh, that sounds like a good number. Don't do that. And then I ended up booking 16 spots on my very first try. So that was great. My first set of minis was this cute bunny mini. It was for Easter and it was adorable. I loved it. But I learned a lot from it. So here's what I learned. For number 1, don't book such a huge time slot. Oh my gosh, it was exhausting, you guys. I did 4 hours of shooting plus an hour for lunch. So it was a 5-hour day, and I felt dead afterwards. I did not want to do that. It was horrible. And I said I would never do that again. For me, my ideal is like 2 to 3 hours of shooting 2 to 3 hours at a time. 2 is my preference. 3 hours is kind of pushing it. Beyond that, I just won't shoot more than 3 hours because it's awful. So when I'm pregnant, I can only shoot 2 hours at a time because I was so dead. So find what works best for you. But I highly suggest don't shoot more than like 3 hours at a time because it is awful. The next thing that I learned was working with animals is hard. It was so difficult, and I didn't expect that. First of all, it comes with a lot of red tape to make sure that you're doing it ethically and correctly. But secondly, animals are just unpredictable. Like, you have no idea what they're going to do. So for me, I had 2 bunnies here, and only one of them was in the picture because the other one decided that he didn't want to be in the pictures. And so the bunny's owner was actually there with me. And I had another assistant with me to help. And so we were both there to like wrangle and make sure everything stayed under control. And one of the bunnies just didn't care. So we put him back in his cage. He was not a part, but the other one did fine for the majority of the time. We kept him in a basket so kids weren't holding him or anything like that. We wanted to keep everybody safe. But towards the end, he like didn't want to be in his basket. So he like found his way under a stool and just stayed there. So we had to get a little creative with our posing and stuff. It's just unpredictable. So working with animals is a lot harder than I thought it would be. The next thing I learned is that it helped to have an assistant there. I mentioned that my bunny's owner was there, but I also had another assistant that she was able to help walk people like to and from their cars to get to our spot and help reset the props and all things like that. And so that was super helpful. I brought on an assistant, honestly, because I was a little nervous. It was my very first set of minis, and I did them back to back. So I like didn't really know what to expect. And so if you're newer with minis, I highly suggest bringing an assistant. Now I typically do them by myself. I'll bring an assistant if our spot is like a little bit of a walk from their car and clients may not know exactly where to go. That's when I'll bring an assistant with me. But it really, really did help. And then the last thing that I learned that was huge was that communication was key. You guys, this is something that I was super intentional from the very beginning. Is that I wanted to be, oh, my camera cut out again. That's okay. Because y'all can still hear me. So it's fine. So communication is such a big deal because I knew that I wanted to be the photographer that knew what was happening and was able to communicate with my clients, because I've had some bad experiences where there just was not clear communication and it was frustrating, and I just didn't want to do that. So for me, no one was late and everybody was dressed so well and everybody came prepared. And that is key here. And it didn't happen by accident. Honestly, it was very intentional because I communicated well. And the reason is because I had my final info email. Now, this is my famous final info email, and people rave about it. And so I mentioned that I had a bonus for you for anybody that stuck around. I am sharing with you my final info email template for free. So anybody that stays through the end of the Q&A, you get my final info email for free. And it's amazing because I talk about reminders. I give their time slot and all the things. I also let them know that they can't be late. So I have people ask me, well, what do I do if my clients are late? Well, I don't have late clients. And this email is why. And so this is super valuable. It's included in my email templates that I sell in my shop, but I'm giving it to you for free. So definitely take advantage of that. Stick around to the end because it is so worth it. Oh, you guys are so sweet. I'm checking in the chat. You say thank you. You're so kind. It's a great resource. Yes, you guys, it is definitely a great resource and you're going to love it. I promise. So I'm super, super excited. Now, I see that there are a lot of questions, which is great. So feel free to keep asking those and popping those in because we will get to our Q&A. So there you have it. If you loved what you learned today, I just want you to know that this is just the tip of the iceberg. I told you at the beginning of this whole thing that I have a special offer for you today because you're here. And honestly, I hope you received value just from being here. Like we talked about, it's the worst attending a free class and not learning anything. So I truly do hope that you left with pages and pages of notes. But if you're hungry for more, then this offer is for you. So get ready because I'm so excited. I have so much more to offer you. I've been working so hard and I am so proud of this offer. So friends, I am so excited to introduce to you my Introduction to Mini Sessions mini course. Now, for those of you that are here today, I do have a special discount on it just for you, and I'll give you that link shortly. But I wanted to let you know what you can find in this course. Now, this is a mini course, and so it's nice because you can binge, get through it really quick, and really start applying some of the things here. So like I said at the beginning, I have proven strategies and systems that work. And I truly do believe that I would be doing you a disservice if I didn't share them with you. And so I created this Intro to Mini Sessions mini course to walk you through everything that you need to know to get started with profitable mini sessions. Now, I say profitable because people run mini sessions every day, but if you're not making a true profit from it, then what's the point? I don't know about you, but I'm a busy mom and I don't have time to waste. And so if I'm going to be spending my valuable time away from my kids and my family, man, I want it to be something that's worth my time and that's actually bringing a profit. And let me tell you, mini sessions 100% can be very profitable when they're done right. And so this mini course really outlines how to do them right. Now, if you've done minis in the past, it's okay because we can help fix and tweak those things that are keeping you from being profitable. And I walk you through that in this mini course. If you've never done minis before, then this is the perfect foundation to be able to get started with minis the right way. Now, today we just barely skim the surface. There is so much more for you to learn. And so I want to give you sort of a sneak peek of what you can find inside this mini course. It is a 3-module mini course. It's got about 3.5 hours of content that teaches you everything you need to know about getting started with mini sessions. We're talking from preparing and planning, the workflows and automations that you need for booking, shooting your minis, editing and delivering your minis, and upselling those galleries automated without using in-person sales. I don't know about you, but I do not have time for in-person sales. And so I created a system that is automated and does the upselling in the background. And so you can see we have module 1 is a mindset shift. And in this module, I really walk through some misconceptions about mini sessions and, sort of defining minis in a way that we all can shift our mind about minis if you've come in with preconceived ideas. And that way we can get started on a positive, really strong foundation of minis. In module 2, we have a whole module about pricing, profitable pricing. So today we barely touched on pricing. I have an entire module where I walk you through all the math, step by step exactly what you need to do to calculate how much you should be charging. And really anything that you could possibly ask about pricing is touched on in this module. And then in module 3, we talk all about booking your minis. And so this is things from getting your promo shots, advertising your minis, getting the word out, actually booking, the shooting process, everything from start to finish, including a little bit of editing. I talk about my editing workflow so that you can edit efficiently and not spend hours and hours behind your computer, and delivering and upselling those galleries. So all that is like a super packed module right there. And not only that, we also have some bonuses. So anybody that purchases this course automatically gets my email templates, which is a $50 value. Any email that I send my clients along the way, as part of their client experience, you get the template for. You can copy and paste these templates and use them in your own business. This is so awesome. I also give you access to our exclusive student Facebook group. Now this, I am so excited. I'm telling you, my Facebook group is the best of the best. I brag all the time that our community is so amazing. We have such encouraging and uplifting photographers that some communities are really cutthroat, and that is not what we are. We do help each other get better, and we provide critiques that help elevate your photography and your business, but we do so in a way that is encouraging and uplifting. And so if that's the kind of place that you're looking for, this is the place for you. I also include as a bonus, you get my resource guide with discounts. So any systems or software that I use, I outline those for you and provide discount codes so that you don't have to pay full price for them. Just another extra bonus that's super, super great to have. Now, I want to mention that all of these lessons are self-paced lessons. So you can watch them all at one time, or you can take your time and watch them one by one slowly, or go back and refresh when you need. You do have forever access. So if you need to go back and review something later, you absolutely can. Now, I want to tell you a little story. This is Stephanie. Stephanie is so sweet. She is one of my students. She's actually one of my earliest students. And in her first year of photography, she had mentioned to me that she wanted to pursue mini sessions. And so she was a mom of 3, had a full-time job outside of photography, and really just didn't have a lot of time on her hands. A lot of, she sounded a lot like me when I first started, where if you're a busy mom, you just have to make the most of your time. So that was where she was at. She had never run mini sessions before. So maybe she's like some of you that have never run minis, but you want to. And so after completing my mini course, she's so awesome. She fully booked her fall season and now consistently books out her minis months in advance. So when I say this course lays out everything that you need to know to get started with minis, I'm not lying. She had hardly any foundation, and she was able to take this immediately and apply it to her business and see the value come from it immediately. Now, the most exciting part of Stephanie's story is that in her very first season of minis that fall, she made over $8,000. You guys, that is incredible. What would you do with an extra $8,000? I'm just so proud of Stephanie and everything that she accomplished. And it's so awesome because she sees these kind of numbers time and time again. What's so great about mini sessions and, mini sessions education is that you can apply it and see the return on your investment year after year, season after season. It is so incredible. So I told you I have a very special price for you guys. And just because you're here watching this, I am so excited to announce that you can opt in to this online mini course for 50% off. Regular price, this mini course is $375, but today you can get in for only $187. Or if you want to break it down into 3 payments, you can do 3 monthly payments of $75. That, you guys, is incredible. And so just to sort of see the things on the side here, the only other way that you could get this information from me is through private mentoring. And my private mentoring starts at $550 per hour. That's one-on-one coaching from me. You get an in-person experience or a video chat. And honestly, it's currently unavailable right now. I'm not offering private mentoring right now. This course value is $500 with 3.5 hours of video content, forever access, self-paced lessons, behind the scenes of my personal processes, my community, and my email templates and more. And all of that you can get today for only $187. Now, here's the good news. If you price your minis right, you only have to book 1, maybe 2 minis, depending on how you price them, and it pays for itself. This course pays for itself. Now, my students book tons of minis, like way more than 1 or 2. The goal is to book out your minis. So we're talking 8 to 12 in a day. Whereas if you only book 1, maybe 2, this course will pay for itself. So I'm telling you, this is a great deal, but here's the deal. This offer will expire, so you need to grab it while you can. I did want to mention I have a 30-day guarantee. So basically, if you consume this content and you implement it in your business and you don't book any minis, I'll refund you 100%. So the risk isn't even on you. The risk is on me in this investment, because I am so confident in what I have to offer and that this thing works. I actually did a survey with some of my students, my current students. I had them fill out the survey, and here's a few of their answers of what they're saying. I asked them, how would you describe my course in your own words? And one of them said, consistent, relevant information to start using right away. You guys, this is actionable steps. I told you I am a no fluff teacher, and that continues in my mini course. And so you can use this stuff right away. Another student said, Rebecca's course was truly great. She has a clear method of teaching and addresses actionable items to use right away with mini sessions. I love her email templates and the way she models professional and friendly way of interacting. Y'all, I teach you everything that I do in my own business to see success here. So definitely you want to check it out. Another student answered when I asked how you would describe my course in your own words. She said, very user-friendly, motivational, full of great info, and very worth the price. You guys, this is awesome. Another student said it's comprehensible, it makes sense. And I did want to point out, somebody said, I keep seeing all these mini session courses that focus on these elaborate props and setups, and that is so not me. Seeing your natural approach was refreshing. I don't use a whole lot of props in all of my minis. Some of my minis are prop heavy, but not all of them are. And so things to keep in mind when you're thinking about investing in this course. My students love it, and I'm sure you will too. As a reminder, you can hop into this course today for 50% off, only $187 or as low as $75 if you want to do the monthly payment plan. So definitely check it out. I'm telling you, you guys, this is an incredible investment that you won't regret. You guys good? We're ready for the Q&A. I hope y'all are still with me. I know that we have tons of questions. I'm going to head over to my questions tab here. Amanda's been marking them. Out of respect for your time, I'm not going to be able to answer all of them, but I'm going to hit as many as I can. So I will just start going through here. You guys ready? Let me know if you're still with me. I know this is crazy. And don't forget, the people that stick with me all the way through the end will get my final info email template completely free as a bonus. So here we go. Okay. Let's see. Christy asked, how much do I pay for my assistant? So I pay my assistant $10 an hour. She's a high school student. She's interested in photography. She just liked to be around me. And so I paid her $10 an hour. She was super happy with that. I expect her to help walk my clients to and from our spot and just make small talk with them, be able to make them feel nice and comfortable and welcome. And then if I need anything while I'm shooting, I need my water or a new lens or whatever, she's there to help me with that. So yeah. Let's see. Annetta's asking, do you have any special clauses in your contracts for minis? I do. And I actually walk through that. I have a whole contracts lesson in the course where I walk through every single thing that I have in my contract and that you should have in your contract too. Plus, students get a special discount. I have a friend of mine has a contract shop, so you get a discount to get a contract if you want to purchase a contract from her. But I walk you through all the clauses in the course. I don't have time to go into that today, but definitely check that out. Let's see. Autumn's asking, what time of day do you schedule your minis? I'm a new photographer and I love golden hour light, but I feel like that would not be enough time for minis. Yes, great question. You are correct. It's not realistic to say that you're only going to shoot in golden hour. And so I do talk about that in the course where I go through how to time your minis, you know, what the best time of day to shoot and what to look for in your location and things like that. I choose to shoot in the mornings or the evenings. I stay away from midday, one, because the harsh light, two, because you don't want to shoot in nap time, especially because I shoot a lot of families with young kids. And so mornings and evenings work best on weekends. I don't shoot on weekdays just because for my clients, a lot of my clients are working families, and so weekends work best for them. Let's see. Anna's asking, do you offer minis during slow seasons too? Great question. So I actually do seasonal minis. The bulk of my minis are in the spring and the fall. And so I do have slower seasons in the summer and the winter. And I talk about this in the course of what to do in your slower seasons, because the way that I've designed it is that my minis income from the peak seasons help carry through slower seasons. So I don't have to shoot year-round mini sessions, which is amazing. So like I'll make $30,000 in the fall and about $15,000 in the spring. So right there is $45,000 that I'm making just from minis alone. That doesn't include any full sessions or anything like that. But I do like to shoot seasonally. Aaron's asking, do you also upsell for full sessions? Great question, Aaron. No, I don't. Because I price my full sessions pretty expensive, they are all inclusive. But I think it depends on your pricing. So my full session pricing is $550. And so for me, that was high enough to justify just giving the full gallery included. Lindsay's asking, do we do the course on our own time or is it in a group? It is self-paced. So you're able to do it on your own time, whatever works for you. You don't have to stick with a group of people and whatnot. It's completely self-paced. So I think that's helpful, especially like for me, I'm a mom and I'm super busy and I just don't have time to do, it's hard for me to do group things. And so you're able to do it completely on your own, which is great. Just wanted to give a couple shout outs. Christy already enrolled in the course today, which is awesome. Aaron also enrolled, and Michaela, amazing. I'm telling you, you are going to be so happy with that investment. I'm so glad that you went ahead and jumped in here. Let's see. Aaron's asking, do you cover the types of minis you could shoot during each season in the course? I do. I go through, I give you an idea of like what minis have worked for me and what minis haven't worked for me, and sort of give some ideas of other things you could be doing. Plus our Facebook group, our student Facebook group, is a really great resource for that, to know, like to be able to bounce ideas and see what other people are doing and see their examples. Like that's one reason that our student group is super valuable, because you get more than just my perspective, but other people's perspective as well. So yes. Let's see. Barbara's asking, are you selling printed products or just digitals? Great question. I do offer prints in the shopping cart in Shootproof, but that's not my main like push, because I do sell high resolution digital images so people can print wherever they want, and which is fine, because the way that I price, I'm able to justify that cost. And if they want to buy prints, that's great, but that's not my big push. Again, I don't have time for like the in-person sales or anything like that. Okay, let me see. I have time for like one more question, so I'm going to scroll through. I want to be respectful of your time, but I want to make sure that we get the things that we want. So if you have any last minute questions, pop them in now. Here's your last chance here. Let's see. Ooh, great question, Christy. She says, how do you figure out how much time you spend each week on photography so you're still being present and being a mom? I love that question, Christy. That's one reason that mini sessions is so powerful to me, because it's the biggest bang for your buck when it comes to your time, because you can smash all your sessions together. And for me, I choose to shoot one day a week, either a Saturday or a Sunday. I try not to shoot more often than that because I really want to save some of that time for my family. And, we go to church together on Sunday mornings, so I never shoot on Sunday mornings. I just want to be really strategic with my time when I shoot, because I want to protect my family time. And so I really do my best to only shoot Saturday or Sunday. So when I run minis, I'll do one week a date on Saturday, and then maybe the next week I'll do a date on Sunday. But I really try to keep it to that. And that's why I love minis, is because you have the flexibility to, I can shoot 8 to 12 families on one date a week, and that does it. And so, like, for example, last fall I shot 13 dates the entire fall. Over 3 months I shot 13 dates and made over $30,000 in 13 days of shooting. You guys, like, that's how it's done. So that's why I'm such a huge believer in mini sessions, and why, especially if you're busy, if you're a mom, if you just want to protect some of that time, then shooting full sessions just isn't it. You're going to be spending so much more time away from the people that matter most. And so for me, minis is the answer. I am such a huge believer in just the benefit that minis bring. So I hope that helps answer your question. That's it for today. I'm going to go ahead and close this out. I want to be respectful of your time, but don't miss it, you guys. This is like just such an amazing opportunity with that 50% off. Don't miss it. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to shoot me a DM on Instagram. I would love to chat and just help. I love serving photographers like you for free. Like, hello, that's what we're doing here. And so just thank you. I'm so honored that you would spend this time with me today. And I loved every second of it. I really did. So hit me up. I would love to chat with you, and we'll see you next time.